Hey everybody, Brad Arrington here. It's a balmy 25 degrees here in mid-February in New York, and behind me is Jennifer B, right there. And today we're starting off on a new winter project, which is going to be servicing the heat exchanger on my Cummins engine. Come along for the ride. So the first thing we're going to do here is I've got my little generator set up and a power cord so I can plug in a heater so I don't freeze to death while I'm in the engine surrounded by all that cold iron. Okay, so I've started to get a little bit of heat in here, and let's show you an overview of the project we're going to start working on today. Alrighty, got a little bit of heat going here. Got my little space heater there, so a little bit of warmth in here. And let's show you what's going on with this project. So this is my Cummins QSC 8.3 600 engine in my back cove. And if you're not familiar with the water routing layout for the raw water, it comes in over here, routes over there to the raw water pump, flows through the aftercooler here, and then over to the heat exchanger here, which is what actually keeps the engine cool. And I've serviced the aftercooler already, but I want to service the heat exchanger here to make sure that it's healthy, not going to be leaking any salt water into the coolant system, and just as general preventative maintenance. So there's a couple of ways that this can be serviced. This is going to be my first time, so I'm going to be figuring it out. But basically, the raw water comes in here, flows through the backside through a core in there, and then discharges here to the exhaust. So a couple ways, the idea is I want to get the core out of here to inspect it and service it. So there's a few ways you can do that. These hoses are going to have to come off, but you can take this cover off and try to pull the core out this way. But that means that the exhaust has to come off of the turbo here, which I'm not so thrilled at doing that. Or let's see, I can do this. Potentially we can go this side. So there's another cap here. I could remove the alternator, which is under that cover there, and slide it out that way, but I'm not too sure about that. So what I think I'm going to do is there's 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts there, and then underneath here there's another couple of bolts, and then this whole unit will come off, and then I can take this home and press out the core. It's never been taken apart, so I'm not exactly sure what condition it is. I expect there's going to be some resistance out there in there to get it out, but that means that this hose, this coolant hose, those two coolant hoses, let's see if I can do this. There's that coolant pipe there has to come off, and a couple of other hoses I think are going to have to come off to get this whole unit out. So that's the project we're going to be starting today, and we're going to be figuring this out together. Okay, I've squeezed myself back into the engine space on Jennifer B, and I'll show you kind of what we got to work with over here. So this is our heat exchanger, and we have to drain the coolant out of here to be able to do this. Should be draining out about 5 gallons. I've got a bucket here, and Cummins does provide a drain point, which is this petcock right here. However, I don't think it's going to be very useful for me. because that petcock is below the stringer here and water doesn't flow uphill very well. And I really don't want to drain it into the bilge down there. So we're gonna have to, I think, pull off a hose or two. So I'm gonna take this hose off and start draining out the water. So this hose is, it has a clamp there that I'll have to remove, and then it's probably not going to be super easy to get off, but I do have a hose remover, so that should help with things. So we'll see how it goes. Now sometimes it pays just to double check things, because just as I was about to pull off this black hose here, I realized that down here, right there, I have a petcock. Now this is the coolant loop that goes to my hot water heater, and that hose there, I can just shut that off. Because if I pulled this off, I think I was gonna start blowing coolant out of there and just making a mess. So I'm gonna try to pull this hose here off instead, and I have that shut off, and then I can use my flexible funnels in there and direct the coolant into this bucket. So we're gonna give that a try. Okay, I've got this hose off now. Fortunately, I tore the end of it a little bit. I'll have to trim that back a little bit when I put it back on. Got a couple of drips of coolant coming out, but that petcock is keeping that closed. Now I can set up my bucket and my flexible funnel. Okay, so I've got my flexible funnel here. That is my outlet. That's open. We're not getting much out of there, so we got to open this up to let in some air. And there we go. On right in there. These things are fantastic. They're not too expensive and they are super useful. I've got a couple different sizes over there. So I've got this bucket pretty well full up of antifreeze. I don't want to get it too full there. Hopefully that should be enough for the project. And then the next thing I want to do is, so this core is here is full of, because this is the raw water side, is full of winterization antifreeze. So I'm going to need to get that out of there via these plugs here. This is the zinc plug, one there and one there. I don't really want to dump that into my workspace here. So again, I'm going to use one of these flexible funnels and remove this plug and then just direct the non-toxic antifreeze in there into the bilge. Okay, so this plug here takes a big socket, 3/4 inch socket. I think that is. No, 5/8 inch socket. So we're just gonna put this on there. Okay, nothing out of there. Well, they had antifreeze in there. You can see it's wet, but there's none in there now, so maybe it's already gone out the exhaust. All right, no mess. Now, I think the next thing we want to do is, so this hose can stay on. These two are going to have to come off. This is going to have to get disconnected here and probably there. And then we've got, remember I said we had 2 bolts down here? These are the 2 bolts that hold it in that way. And then we've got this hose here and then this hose here that's going to have to come off. So we'll start with that next. To the side. Put this cap back on. This hose will have to come off too. So many hoses. Now I really shouldn't be using these pair of pliers here on here, but my bucket's over there with all my tools and I don't feel like reaching it. A little care, it actually is coming off. There we go. Those 2 disconnected. That one's disconnected. Let's see, 9/32 for this guy here. And that comes off pretty easily. I'll have to cut this here, this little wire tie, to get that off, but we'll do that later. Alright, got my 10mm metric socket here. There's a lot of 10mm on this boat, on this engine. Now on the ends of these pieces that hold this tube on, these little retainers, you don't want to drop them. They're small, they can easily bounce down into the bilge, so make sure you don't drop them. Now we've gotten this one off, got to move over to this one over here. And figure out how the hell I'm going to get the socket in there. That's not quite long enough. These things have never been taken off, so they're taking a lot of pressure. Got to break the bond of the paint and just being tight in there. Okay, now that we've gotten that, broken those bolts loose, this is loose. And when we reassemble it, there's a little gasket in here we're going to have to replace. So I don't have to take this off anymore. Just enough to get this thing loose. The next up is going to be these ones and those ones, and I suspect this is going to be the same. Also have the socket go the wrong way, the right way. These cap bolts are a lot shorter than the ones for the other tube. Big difference there. And so things don't always go in the order you think they are when you're doing these projects. So I've gotten this bolt out. I'm working on this one and realize I can't get the socket in there because of this cable bundle for the alternator. So I'm gonna have to take this bolt off to lower this down so I can get this one off. Sometimes that's just the way things works with these projects. This bolt here didn't want to come off. I needed a bigger wrench. It came off. Okay, so I've gotten this guy loosened up here. When I did that, it drained a lot of antifreeze into the bilge there. Not really what I wanted, but not much I can do about that. There wasn't a way to capture that. But I'll pump that out separately into a bucket later on. And then the next thing we got to tackle is getting these hoses off. So let's see. Okay, so I've gotten this hose off with my hose removing hook. Now I'm working on this hose. This is actually the hose for the shaft seal, provides some lubricating water in there. So I've gotten the hose clamp off there, but this hose was really stuck onto this nipple here. So instead of trying to fight and take that off, I'm just gonna remove the nipple. Let me switch hands. So it's going to take that off, and it's spinning inside the hose because it is loosened up. And then we'll just leave that on, and when it comes time to reassemble this thing, we'll just screw that on and put the hose clamp back on. It should be good. Alright, here's where we are now. So this hose piece was difficult to get off. It's cold in here, it's not flexible, I can't really push it back. So I've removed the cap bolts from here, and this is loosened up. So I should be able to get this main body out. And I've gotten these 4 bolts off. And it's just like that, it's loose. So now I'm gonna try to get this thing out of here. Okay, so there we have it. Here's the heat exchanger, the body of it. I've gotten this hose off. This is off. And now we can get her off the boat, home, open it up, and see how it's doing.